Alright, here's the entrance to Mr. K's house. As you can see, there is a cord going across the front of it, so we will make sure that we have them to move that because that is a trip hazard as well as this mat that is outside that needs to be taken up so that way he will not trip coming in. As you can see, there's about a 4-inch concrete step that needs to be gone. You need to step over in order to go in, and a screen door that pulls out that he would need to move in order to get the door open. And there's also some transition going from this step into the inside of the house, where there's also a rug that needs to be taken up so that way he will not trip. And then also note that the door closes behind him pretty quickly, so he would need to come all the way in so that the door could close. And then as well, you see this, the way that this front door closes, he also has to come all the way in the house so that way he can close that door all the way. So I think we need to, as you can see, there's a table right here that is really close to the door, as well as the couch that's right here, which makes for a narrow space for the patient to be able to come in when he comes into the house. So my suggestion would be to either take the table completely out or move it closer to the window, or possibly move the couch closer to the end of the wall and take this table that is here out. There is also a area rug in the floor, as you can see, that is a trip hazard. There are sharp edges on the tables that are around, and so if he trips, he could potentially harm himself. So we absolutely want them to take up this rug leading into the hallway. Well, that's in the living room leading into the hallway. All right, now we're going into the hallway. As you can see, there is a rug coming up the middle of the hallway. I suggest that the patient's family take this rug up. It is a trip hazard, and if the patient falls on it, he could potentially harm himself. There's also a table at the end of the hallway, so if he fell, he could potentially hit his head or something on there. So take the rug up, or also maybe take out that table at the end of the hallway as well. All right, from the hallway, we're going into the master bedroom. There is no change in the floor surface. There is a small walkway, a small area between this nightstand here and the door and this step stool. So of course, bring the step stool out. I would suggest that the patient's family move this nightstand to open up this doorway a little bit more, and then also pull up that rug so that way the patient has more room to be able to ambulate in here with his walker or with his cane, and that he would have the space to actually be able to turn around and sit down on the bed so that way he could be able to dress or lie down or any of the transfers or anything that he may need to do. The bed does not seem too soft. It seems like it would be a good consistency for the patient, so I like that. And like I said, I would want to take up this rug right here, as well as move this fan and these jugs out of here on the floor, because they could potentially be trip hazards, and like I say, they kind of block the patient's ability to come all the way fully into the room. So now there is a rug also again here at the foot of the bed that I would want to take up. It is as well could potentially cause the patient to trip. There's another nightstand here, and he has this really long footboard at the foot of his bed that if he tripped over this rug, he could harm himself by either hitting his head or something on the bed or on the nightstand. So I absolutely will want to take this rug up. I suggest that they take that rug up before he comes home. All right, as we're leaving out of the master bedroom, going into the master walk-in closet, there is, which goes into the smaller bathroom with the walk-in shower. It is a very narrow space, so I would suggest that the patient's family possibly find a more a better way to be able to store his shoes and his clothing, maybe in that spare bedroom that nobody's using, so that way we can open up the space and give him more space to be able to walk in with his walker or his cane. As you can see, there is also a transition that goes from the master bedroom into the closet. So we would also want to be mindful of that, because like I say, he has Parkinson's disease, and that could potentially cause him to do some festering gait and some, shuffle steps. So we will want to make sure that we are mindful of that. And then, like I say, also want to make sure that they find some other type of storage for his shoes and his clothes so that we can open up this space so that the patient would be able to get through here relatively quickly into the bathroom. Into the bathroom, you see there is a transition going from the closet into the bathroom, this right here. So we also want to be mindful of that, like I say, because of the patient's current diagnoses. We want to be super mindful of that. I suggest that the patient uses this bathroom more often just because it has a higher cabinet, so that it will be easier for the patient to be able to do any of his grooming, any of the things that he needs to do as far as his teeth brushing and doing his hair or anything. I also would suggest that they take this rug up here, move this rack and this toilet tissue roller out in the trash can, just so that the patient has more room. Like I say, this is a really tight area. I would suggest that the patient uses this because he doesn't have as large of a step to get into this walk-in shower as he does in the other bathroom. So with this patient using the walk-in shower, I would suggest we put that there are some handrails or some grab rails put maybe on the outside to help the patient when they're trying to step up into the shower, and then also have some grab rails and a shower bench inside of the shower to help the patient with safety while he's bathing. He is already used to using a shower bench with some supervision, so that would be something that we would want to continue over and just get him a little bit more independent on that. Also, like I say, wanting to take out these this rug and this rack, these small items, the trash can, the tissue roller, and the rack. All right, now we're leaving out of this bathroom, going into the living room area. There is also another transition here, going from this tile to this wood floor, and there is a mat here as well that I would suggest is taken up, as well as the rug here. There are several rugs in this room that I feel need to be taken up because they all present some type of trip hazard for the patient. There are some furniture with sharp edges around that could potentially cause injury to the patient if they tripped over that. So I absolutely suggest that all of these rugs are taken up. Looking at the furniture, it is relatively soft, so the patient could potentially sink into it a little bit. So my suggestion would be to maybe get some firmer furniture, or even go so far as to get a foam type of cushion or something that the patient could be able to sit on, so that way he won't sink so far into the chair or the couches when he's in here in the living room area. There's another rug that needs to be taken up, as well as a pool table that is in the living room area as well. So I really feel that the rug and the pool table can go. Absolutely the rug, because it's a trip hazard, and like I say, there are really sharp edges on this fireplace, and there is a transition right here with the fireplace as well. So we would want to be mindful of that transition, as well as that rug right there that could cause the patient to potentially fall and hit his head or something on that fireplace, or on this cabinet right here with some sharp edges. So we want to take up all of the rugs that are here. There's a spot on the floor right there that is damaged, as well as a rug in front of this back door and a rug under this exercise bike. This back door right here is closed, so it's locked, so it's not a entrance or exit that the patient really uses regularly. So I'm not really too tough worried about that, but there is some transition of the flooring type going from outside to inside that we should be mindful of, as well as, like I say, the rugs that need to be taken up. All right, so now we're going into the kitchen. As you can see, there is a transitional spot that goes from the living room to the kitchen area, so we want to be mindful of that. There's not much space right here between the door and the kitchen table, the kitchen chair. So I would suggest that they possibly get a smaller table, or maybe just kind of move it around some to give the patient a little bit more room. Like I say, he is right now ambulating with a walker and a cane, so he needs more space to be able to get into the rooms, and this could be a problem. So we want to make sure we open that space up. Looking at the kitchen, there is a rug in front of the kitchen sink that needs to be taken up, trip hazard as well. We can look at the cabinets and all and see that they are in relatively good position for the patient to be able to reach them. Looking at the refrigerator, so behind the refrigerator there is a small table and a trash can. I would suggest that both of these are moved, because when the patient tries to open the refrigerator, they will step back, potentially stepping into the edge of this table or tripping over this garbage can. So both of those need to go as well. And as you can see, coming from the kitchen into the hallway, there's another transitional space that goes from the two different flooring types that we would need to be mindful of as well. So, all right, so now we're in the kitchen. We're going into the laundry room. There is a china cabinet there, as well as these kitchen table, the chairs from the kitchen table. That's why I say I kind of suggest they would get a smaller kitchen table, so that way we can open up this space here. But as I looked at the laundry room, I really don't suggest that the patient really uses this. Of course, we would need to move this box here if the patient would. But as I look into the laundry room, I do not suggest that this patient really uses this laundry room to be able to wash and dry his clothing. As you can see, it's very cluttered. There's a lot going on back here. There is a deep freezer. There are 2 dryers, washers, and just all kind of things. There's cords and carpet and shoes, and things that he could trip over if he came back here. So maybe his laundry is something that he could have family members do for him, because this is not safe. Absolutely is not safe for him to be able to do any laundry work. Any laundry in his house. So if they could come in and clear that stuff out, maybe take this dryer out and maybe clear out the shoes and the cords and make more of an open space, he could be able to do some laundry. But for right now, I wouldn't suggest that he does any laundry right now. So, Mr. K, there are several things that you can do to make your home more safe for you to discharge to. Starting off, there are several rugs in your home. There's small rugs, there are area rugs, there are just a lot of rugs in your home, and they all need to come up because they all could potentially be a trip hazard that could cause you to fall and cause you to harm yourself. Coming into the living room area, I think you need to bring that table that's right there by the door out, or either move your couch over a little bit to give you more space coming into the house. And then also coming up the hallway, there's a rug into that first bathroom. I don't suggest that you use that bathroom regularly. I really suggest that you use the second bathroom off of your bedroom due to the walk-in shower. We would need to get some handrails and a shower bench in there to make it more functional for you. There is also an end table in your bedroom right by your bed that needs to come out, because it doesn't have a whole bunch of space for you to be able to do a lot of maneuvering right there. Also in your living room area, your couches seem to be a little soft, so I'm suggesting that you get a cushion that's a little bit more firmer, that will make it easier for you to get up when you're sitting down. And then also, like you say, you have some really hard edges, some things that could harm you in your den area. I want to also suggest that you bring that pool table out, and that you bring those area rugs out, and maybe get some type of cushion to go around your fireplace, so that way if you were so happen to fall, that you wouldn't be able to injure yourself. There are 3 goals that I would like to work with you with prior to you going home. And those 3 goals is, the first one would be for you to independently be able to get into the walk-in shower to bathe yourself. I also would like for you to be able to dress yourself independently with minimal supervision while standing. And then I also want to work with you to be able to ambulate over 200 feet with minimal supervision inside your home. So those 3 goals, I think, would help you to be more functional inside your home and will make your transition a lot easier.